Welcome to Lesson 6. This is Part 5 of 7 parts. Be sure you have completed all prior videos before watching this one. In this segment, we're going to take another look at project resources. You may recall that the Dean provided us with up to 4 copy editors for the project. They are interchangeable rather than specific named resources. Now suppose that only 2 are available during the first half of January, and all 4 are available during the remainder of the month. Project will allow us to set this up. Following the instructions on this slide, we can go to the resource properties and define availability. Let's assume there are only 2 available through 1/15/2016 and 4 available for the remainder of the month. Using the resource availability feature, we can set this up. Note that the maximum units field will change between 0, 2, and 4 full-time equivalents depending on your PC clock date. For all dates prior to 1/16/2016, 2 will be available. From 1/16/2016 through 1/31/2016, 4 will be available. Anytime after that, there will be none. Perfectly fine, since with our good planning, our project should be over by then. Note that to make this screenshot, I clicked OK, then brought back up the resource information dialog. This allows you to see the settings, and since I created this screenshot before 1/16/2016, the copy editor's maximum units field has changed from 400% to 200%. So far in this course, we've seen work and cost resources. Now it's time to take a look at material resources. Let's assume that each bound galley proof of the book we order costs us $15. We may need to order several for the copy editors and others that will review the book. So we can set them up as a material resource. These are resources that are charged to the project as they are used or consumed. We can add these to the resource sheet by putting copy in the material label field. We're reminding ourselves these are charged on a per copy basis. Once we add the per unit cost of $15, we're done. Anytime these resources are assigned to a task, we'll be charged $15 per copy. In this screenshot, you can see the result of adding the bound galley proof material resource in row 11 of the resource sheet. Davina's Publicist gives us a list of 20 people to receive advance copies of the book in the form of bound galley proofs. We can use the Assign Resources function to assign 20 copies, and Project will calculate the $300 cost based on the $15 per copy price. Notice that Project also added the copy label when showing the resource to the right of the task. Following the steps on this slide, we can modify the resource usage sheet to show us the remaining availability of resources on a month-to-month basis. This will be useful for determining our resource burn rate, the rate at which we are consuming project resources. This is also useful for determining which resources might be underutilized and available for other project tasks or tasks on other projects. As an example, take a look at Ray Hoffa. Ray is assigned to 48 hours of project work. However, he has 176 hours available, 22 days, to work in January. That means we have 128 hours, or 16 days, of additional time to apply Ray to project tasks or allow him to work on another project. This would be important since, according to our scenario, Ray is a salaried employee and not a contractor. The information is also useful for the contractors as it allows them to see their commitments. In this navigation session, we're going to look at some of the advanced things we can do with resources. The first item was to schedule the availability and capacity of the copy editors. To do that, we need to get to the resource sheet. There are actually a number of ways we can do that. Perhaps one of the easiest from our Gantt chart view is to go to View and click on Resource Sheet. Here we can select the copy editors and then go to the Resource tab, and on Properties we'll click Information, and here we have resource availability where we can set up their timed availability. So we can say that from the beginning of time until mid-January, that we're going to have 2 copy editors, or 200%, and that from January 16th through January 31st, that we have 400%. So now we can click OK. And you'll notice that because I am at a date today, I'm on September 5th, we're sooner than 1/15, or actually 1/16/2016. So therefore, the capacity of copy editors as of today is 200%. Once I pass 1/16/2016, this will increase to 400%. So that's how we can schedule the availability of the copy editors. The next item we were going to look at was the material resources, and we can do that right here on our resource sheet. We can add a new resource, bound galley proof, make this a material resource, and the standard rate is now $15. And the material label is actually this column. I'll separate it out so you can see it. And so we can put copy here, or actually it might even be better to put copies to show that it might be one or more. So now we have the material resource of bound galley proofs set up. We were going to consume some of this resource on our task to distribute advanced copies. I'll come back to our Task tab, come to the Gantt chart view, find our Distribute Advanced Copies. Then I can go to the Resource tab and assign resources. And notice bound galley proofs are on the list now, and we said that we wanted to assign 20. And as soon as I do that, you'll see that $300 of cost is associated with it, and they are assigned to this task. I can click Close. You'll see my 20 copies here. I can also come to my variance table and actually I should look at the cost table. I could add costs into this view, but we'll go to cost. And you'll notice that I have a $300 variance now because the $300 for these 20 bound galley proofs was not a part of our original plan. So therefore, a variance was created. So at this point, we have $800 total of variance, and it belongs to the public launch phase. The previous $500 being the server setup fee for launching the public web portal. So that takes care of our material resources. Now the next step was to see how we could view our resource usage, and in particular understand who might be over or underutilized. So I can come to View and click on Resource Usage to get that table. And I can come to the Format tab, and in Details, uncheck Work and check Remaining Availability. Now that tells me how much on a daily basis I have for each of the resources. Now I do want to get rid of the tasks and only have the resources. So I can come to the View tab, to the Data group, and where it says Outline, I can select Hide Subtasks. So now I just have the availability of the resources, and furthermore, I can see their monthly amount by changing the time scale here to months. And so as an example, Ray Haffa is going to have 88 hours of availability in January, remaining availability, and 168 total hours in February. But this says that during the course of the project, I have 88 additional hours I can assign, and it shows me here what tasks he's working on and where that 48 hours is going. So this is a very useful report to allow you to manage the resources, see at what rate you're using resources each month, and assign more work or relieve some people from work based on their availability. So with that, that ends our navigation session on advanced resources. Now it's time for you to practice. Set up the availability of the copy editors, add the bound galley proof material resource and assign 20 copies, and create a table of resource availability capacity. Compare your results to the screenshots in the video. Lesson 6 consists of 7 parts. You just completed part 5 of 7. Please proceed to watch part 6.